Let me start from the beginning here. Everybody. My
All
dog
right.
you're like gagging. You all right, Kukla? Gross. Uh Welcome
All right.
everybody to another episode of the Monsters from Lake Erie. I am Brian
Hey, I'm John.
and you are John. Yeah. We are back again. It's been a little bit, and we're going to try to catch everybody up with what we're doing, and we'll kind of go from there. How about you, John? How are you doing today?
Yeah, what's happening, everyone? Lots of things. Finishing up summer classes here. I take my final exam tomorrow. Woohoo!
Right on.
That's filmmaking history. That's pretty good. Still working things for semester in LA. A lot of things have to fall in place to make that a go. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, that's typical. That's just the movie industry. That whole industry. Is you never. You could have something planned one day and it's gone the next, and then it's back 3 days later, and
Totally
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Totally fine. And that's kind of, I love it how you just put that, because that's kind of the roller coaster, if you
yeah.
will, that I'm riding. Um, it just has to do with which classes we're taking. Do you have an internship set up yet? Oh, we didn't even mention the housing aspect of it yet. So there's, I'm not the only person. Obviously, there's 13 of us that are kind of going through these same kind of issues. But yeah, it's real interesting. Let's just say that.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, yeah. That's and it's never a dull moment too. I'm sure that it's like constantly shifting dynamics of everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, what else? What else is going on? What do you got going on there?
So obviously, I'm in Arizona. You're back in Erie, Pennsylvania. I get to
Yeah.
wake up to the Facebook releases every day, so that's kind of cool. So I woke up today and I'm trying to think, is it the second or it's the third episode of On Location? That's because we
Yeah, I
did
think I mean
Baltimore,
episode
West Erie Plaza, and now
three comes out
yep,
today. Yeah, this morning it did. Yeah, and it's
yep,
playing fine. Today's Fun Town, I believe,
Fun Town. Thank
on
you.
yeah on Facebook. Yeah, so it's funny to watch those. I mean, I don't watch them. I haven't watched them since we made them. So
Well,
yeah,
it's interesting that you say that. So I get to be one of the views, if you will, and watch that through Meta. So if you're a creator, you definitely should take in what you create through the platform you're putting it out on. So like
yeah,
for us, in the past, it was YouTube, not in the past, but like that's where the material resides, if you will. I don't know how you
mhm.
want to put it. But Facebook is much easier for me to go on, check, and then share, like all that kind of good stuff.
I think you're right. I think that happens with a lot of people. I think it's definitely easier to share. It's definitely easier to, you know, that another thing too is I don't think people realize too is that Facebook and Meta owning Facebook, it's a business. They're there to
Sure.
make money. And here comes me with a link saying, hey everybody, go watch this show on YouTube. You know, it's only so long before they're like, hey, we're the eyes need to be on our app. So,
Yep.
that's why I think it also gets shared out a little bit more now
Yeah.
than it did because it hits more eyes, I believe.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
simply
Yeah,
just
it's just
more eyes on it.
it's reaches a wider audience, and it's able to be viewed, shared uh seamlessly in that platform, in that
Yeah,
online. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Very cool.
let's see, what am I working on today? Today I'm actually working on a Project Algerine episode. I'm working on like I can't really show you it, but
Right, but you're still doing the research. You mentioned the other day you came across some interesting, you always do, tales in your research for the newspapers, that kind of thing, right?
yeah, yeah, there's always something in there. You can literally go back and then once you kind of latch on a story, you kind of find who were the players involved and then what led up to this point and then,
Yeah.
you know, what took it from there. That's
Yeah.
it's one of my little strategies. Um but but yeah, I'm on, like I'm actually trying to do, like actual production on some stuff already, just to get it out of the way, like stuff that I know I'm going to need, like little clips and scenes and stuff. And then, that's kind of how it all comes together. I can show, I don't know if I can show this on here. I'll try to show this
Let me
on
see if
here.
I can share the screen. Yeah, make sure everything
Well,
is.
well, I don't, it's on my phone and I took it with my camera while I
Okay.
was, uh, editing. So
Okay.
it's not gonna look good. It's not gonna sound good. It's just gonna, give you a little taste of something here. If I can
All
try
right.
to get this to play too. I never have luck with these things. Let's see if it's so that probably came out terrible. What.
No, no, no. I could pick up on the narration just
Yeah.
fine. But I think you also had a little bit of, that's what I was listening for is whatever the Boogie Nights backdrop, the thriller type music in the backdrop.
Right, right. Like you always got to cut. You always got to cut to a temp track and something. And then what's interesting is I noticed that this software we're using here to record us probably won't even pick that up. I think it takes all music out and extracts it out of there in its noise cancellation.
Oh,
So yeah, I tried it something the other day and it just wouldn't play the music. So you know,
that's fascinating. So I was messing around with Otter AI uh, in the capacity. So I use Zoom for a weekly meeting for speech giving, national type organization.
hmm
And I was using Otter AI to try and catch some of the ums, ahs, repeats, that kind of thing. And interestingly enough, Brian, the software edits those ums out.
really,
So your
yeah,
transcript is clean, if you
yeah.
will. Kind of interesting, right?
It'd have to work overtime on me, that's for sure.
Well, you say that my what do you call it? Crutch words are things like. So if you look back at a transcript where I'm the speaker, you will hear things like all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to do. That's why I don't like doing public speaking. It's not my thing. I just, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
I
This
I,
is
I barely like doing this, it's
it's
sometimes
definitely a
it's
plus for
hard,
me too.
but yeah, but it's got its place, apparently.
Man, what else is new? Um,
And
I
that's another thing too, is I want to see if have had this happen to you yet. When you start getting into the film and television industry and stuff like that, you start to like not want to watch a lot of this, even other people's stuff. It starts to become, like I don't have the time. You know,
You're right.
I don't have the time. I wish I could sit, that's why, oh, my dog is over there shaking. Like, I wish, that's why I kind of like the festival here in town that they do. Cause like I could sit there for 48 hours and watch films pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of an event that makes you go
Hold
and.
on 1 second. I'm going to have to pause this because I know my dog is freaking out here in a second.
Oh, all right. All right.
Okay. We are back. We had to take a little dog break there.
Yeah.
Both of us have dogs. So
Yep.
to send them off to boarding school.
It's about 11:30 here. So my dog's pattern of life is this: they wake up, uh, kind of lounge about with us, go out with uh, Andy, do horses, come back in, swim around, nap, and so like that's first nap. This is around second nap time. So they're just starting to like, hey, do I want to go outside? But it's like 98 degrees here right now.
Oh
So
wow. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
even know what it is here. It's like 79, so it's not too bad.
Yeah,
But
well, it's a dry heat. Oh no, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's a wet heat here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to get up to only 106 today, but
Oh well, then yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah. try filming in that weather. That's what, they don't really, they don't warn you for that. They don't really, you know, there
Can I
should be
tell
a
you,
class on, how to like, film in Death Valley or something like that. Cause
can I tell you a little quick story? Okay, so uh, some of the things we have to do at Arizona State University are do senior capstone films, right? So senior project films. One of the films that I had the opportunity to work on was called Memory Cartridge. Okay, we filmed the majority of this film up here at my house, essentially, because lots of room to do things, activities, film
right,
in the back.
right,
Here we go. But desert. They wanted to go out to the desert and film a battle scene. Okay, right on. Very iconic. So, as the lead producer slash everything, I had to go location scouting. We did that. We got state land permit, right? Always get your permit if you're doing that kind of stuff.
yep,
I think it was a whole like $15 or something. So like, why wouldn't I do that, right? Um, we went out. Thank the gods. The it was overcast the morning. It wasn't like a monsoon because it was like early May. Still starting to get like climb up to the high 90s, mid 90s. Man, thank God we lucked out. And when we got back, it was only like 2.5 hours out there. But like, think about things out in the desert. Okay, you want to go to the restroom or desert bathroom? Got to watch out for those scorpions, snakes, and whatever. And privacy, you have a crew of, I think we necked it down. There was probably only like a dozen, 18, 20 of us out there. But still, man, people, my house was 5 minutes away, but you had to figure out shuttles back and forth because we
right.
had people
You don't have
falling
a
out
whole
because of,
bus to take,
oh,
back and forth. Yeah.
yeah, thank God Andy came to the rescue. She drives for a
Hmm.
hot air balloon company. So she got one of their 15 passenger vans and we
Oh,
were able,
nice. So
oh
you did
man.
have a bus.
It was a go van and it
There you
was,
go. Yeah.
we got lucky. We got lucky. The behind the scenes, ooh, yeah, yeah. We got
Well,
lucky.
that's what's filming is just get it done any way you can, That's that's one of the main things too.
Yeah. Probably one of the benefits was after we made it so we were filmed during the morning and end during the mid morning, mid afternoon, was coming back and having, I don't know, air conditioning, a roof, a pool, that kind of thing to like we did a wrap party, if you will.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. So we had like, you know,
And yeah, see, if you do your rap, did you do it at the end? You did your rap party at the
oh yeah,
end.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Don't jinx yourself and do your rap parties at the beginning. I've seen people do this and
Oh
it's just,
no, no,
you
no,
know,
no.
like the
That's like
whole
saying happy
time,
birthday before your birthday, man.
right? Like the whole time, you got to think too, the whole time you're going through production, you're going to be sitting there. Everybody in the crew is going to be going, boy, I wish they would have spent that money on extra, stands or lights or, they're
I never
bringing
even thought
this.
about it from that
So
angle. You're right.
yeah, you just never, I can't understand a production house that would do that. I just think that's wow. And then take pictures and post on the internet too. So I've seen that happen. Mm.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody works with what their budget is, and if they're spending it on meatball pate or something like that, you know, instead of you know lights, that.
Uh, yeah. Good times. I mentioned the other day that I'm going to a Foo Fighters concert. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So Foo Fighters concert is actually on the 7th, which is coming up this Wednesday, I believe. So in addition to wrapping up all the things that I got to do here, I think my intention would be to go from San Diego, see the concert on Wednesday, and then maybe travel to LA, hopefully do a couple in-person meetings, going around doing things, if you will.
Yeah.
getting preps or finding things out that will either enable me to uh, be able to do the semester in LA, or,
or wherever.
if I don't get to do it as the undergrad, I will be super kind of bummed I didn't make that happen. But
Well, the thing too is you got to remember is like right now, I don't think LA is the total happening spot anymore. Um, Everything gravitated out of there.
after the strike,
Well, yeah, and what's interesting is like
uh,
the SAG productions really are still at a very, very, very low minimum. They didn't really recover after,
they're
but
definitely not the
the
first person.
low budget production houses are just booming. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there so much content is coming out. It's just on a daily basis. It's like a faucet, That's going to be hard for them to compete with that. I mean, you know, honestly, I would rather see a company that used to function like the old days, where they would come out and say, "Hey, you know what? We'll take $100 million, and instead of spending that on a comic book movie or something like that, we'll take 10 $10 million pictures from unknowns,
Sure.
and one of those is going to hit, if it's marketed correctly." I
Yeah.
mean, look at some of the stuff they marketed to us in the 80s and 90s. It was awful, you know? It's
But
absolutely
it
awful.
was iconic though because of the way that it was
The way it
marketed.
was marketed. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. You know, there's a whole, like, I'm not going to say who, but there's a whole genre of like films that like a whole uh place that did nothing but focus on their box art for VHS. That
Oh,
was that was their shtick. They didn't care about the movie. You could literally show up there with a VHS camcorder type thing of you know at a skating rink in the 80s or something, and been like, roller skating girls from
sure.
Mars, and then sold it to these people, and then they would just create a really cool box and a poster and ship that off to the video store. It was all about getting that shelf space on the video store. That was really that watching that, there should be a whole documentary on that, that the battle between different like
Format.
Vestron and like different old school video producers that used to put stuff out like that. I think that would be fascinating.
I think that that's a worthwhile. Yeah, I like that idea.
Right on, right on. Let's see. Oh, what else did I find? Oh, this was interesting. I thought was the one of the films that you'll see me in 2026. They changed their name again. So,
Okay. All
uh,
right.
but so I'm not even gonna, like, this is like the third time they've changed the title. So I'm just not even gonna tell anybody what they've changed it to, because it
Can I
will
ask,
it will probably change again.
what's you did a little bit of research with regards to the name for this uh show, podcast, whatever we want to call it, right?
Hmm.
Do you think they're kind of going through that evolution right now where they're kind of checking on the other names, or like just seeing what hits, or
I think they were. I think in their. I think in their mind, they were thinking that they wanted to distance themselves from being uh something that they may not have
okay.
exactly
Okay.
part, like, because from what I understand, and I don't know much about really this whole film. I know a couple of the people that are in it just through friends of friends, and they're like, it's one of those things where you always want to work with somebody, or you always want to have your name in a film with somebody that you kind of idolize. So there are a couple people that were in this that I was like, oh, okay, it's definitely something I'll do.
Yeah.
And and it's I don't have any lines in this either too. So I'm like the king of the guy you just kind of see in the background in these things.
Okay.
So it's fun though. You just go down and do like 1 day or 2 days, and eat off the crafty cart, and just kind of talk to other people that are other in the industry and stuff. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I like to do. you know
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
and then they'll have to like escort me off the set, because I have a car full of crafty, and
You
crafty
see,
is not for home use.
I will say this, which crafty is best? The crafty that someone else provides. So,
Yeah, yeah, right. But I thought it was interesting that they changed their name again. I was like, I got the message. I was like, okay,
Radio.
again, but I don't care. You know, like I said, it's not my film, but I wish them the best of luck. And
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
you know, it's going to be interesting to see how they. I mean, they're kind of like they're in finishing territory, I would say, but they're, you know, uh, we'll see how it turns out. There's
Okay.
supposed to be action figures involved. I got a set of action figures coming.
Ooh,
Uh,
that's big, Brian.
well, you know, I just collect that stuff for, you know, I just got picked up this the other day. This was one of my new little scores. I don't know. I collect little things like that. Just
Got to put it where you can see him, man. He's behind the cushion. Well, like
yeah, he hides. Yeah,
maybe that's where he
yeah,
lived.
yeah. I can't let him out. Yeah, yeah. He's afraid of the light. It's like a gremlin. So,
Nice.
but
That's
yeah, I just, you know, that's silly stuff. You know, that's
yeah.
you'd be surprised at the resale value of that stuff. Like after a few years, just like the average like horror movie toys, like these things, like average like 10% a year or something like that in value. So it's pretty crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited because the new Marvel movie came out, and I have comic books that directly relate to the movie. Not not directly relate, but the characters. How's that?
Right on. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I never got into comic book movies even. It's weird because I can do animation and stuff. So, but I just,
I would say more into comic books than comic book movies for me, to be honest, because
yeah.
it's I was of the age during those. So, Brian, you might have to remember this, but in 1982, playing Pitfall at one of our cohorts' house in night, that was something. If you had an Atari 2600 or whatever, and you had the new Activision game, that's what we kind of did. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I remember Pitfall. I do remember that. That was always, you know, you can never, that little alligator guy would always, you know, he'd always get me.
I
Or a
guess
scorpion or something like that. That's something like that. Yeah.
so. I had to watch. So I had to watch a little bit of stuff from people playing Pitfall earlier today. I never realized that you run to the right for like 11 screens, and then you like spend the rest of the game jumping back to the left, kind of
Where
thing.
you started from. Yeah. I think it goes all the way back. Yeah. Yeah. Most of those games were pretty crude, you know. Uh,
I think it was exciting because it had two levels or something like that. So you like you had to get so many treasures, but you could level. There were like two levels or something. I don't know. It's been a while, and I didn't watch the full.
did you know, speaking of video games, did you just see that the people that do the voices for video games and stuff just went on strike?
No,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. So, yeah, apparently, I think that just happened this morning. I think that was what came across my thing. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. You know,
Isn't a large portion of why the strike happened last time is because of the digital likeness and the contract negotiations and those kind of things that came from there?
I you know, and the thing is I can absolutely agree with a lot of that.
Sure.
You know, if you showed up to a studio to be in an extra in, you know, movie A, and then all of a sudden you show up in movie B, but yet
Sure.
you weren't paid,
Right.
then that's absolutely wrong. I mean, that, you know, and but there are people that are willing to sell their likeness. You
There
know,
you go.
that's what we have to contend with too. I mean, uh, and then there's like in us. I mean, we use our likeness a lot in our characters,
Sure.
just because we can, and you know, uh, but that's kind of essentially what they're talking about. You know, in a way, is you know, somebody being able to use it in a different light, maybe negative.
Sure. Yep.
You know, that's, you know, that's always an issue. You know, people are gonna, you know, we live in a world now where nothing can be, you know, I mean, you can reproduce pretty much anything. Yeah, that's my schmeal for today. I'm working on a lot of stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna go back outside and redo things in the 101-degree heat. We'll be good.
Well, that's where I'd just, reorganize my schedule for stuff like that. There were a couple days when we were doing that on location thing that always what like 85 or 86 here, which is hot usually
Oh yeah.
in Erie, and I was just dripping the
Well,
whole
my
time.
difference, yeah, my difference there is my eyeballs were sweating, and I mean that quite literally. Like I had the episode that I had these glasses on. It was kind of overcast that day, but it was still. Oh my! I'm rubbing my eyes right now just thinking of it. It was just. Whew.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I will then wrap it up for everybody because we could yammer forever. Yeah.
That's our point.
So, all right. I will thank you everybody for joining us today. And if you have watched us this far, give yourself a round of applause. Because wow, you made it like all the way through. And we'll be back soon for another episode. So thank you very much, guys, and have a wonderful rest of the afternoon or day or whatever.
Thanks so much, guys.
See you guys. See you, John.
Take care.